Hi, everybody. We've got Robert O'Brien. He's one of our researchers here at New York City InfraGuard, and Bob was good enough to attend
Splunk.
the Splunk conference in New York City, and we've got a number of videos that we're going to bring up on the internet for our blog probably later on today. We've uploaded all of them already, so it's just a matter of switching them over. And then what we'll do is we'll put this audio recording right out in front of that. That way people get the audio, and then right after that they get all the videos, and they can kind of get a pretty deep dive into Splunk. So without further ado, here's Bob. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, how you doing, Joe?
Not bad. Go ahead. Take it away.
Okay. What I was impressed with at the Splunk conference that was held in New York was that basically I was one of the least knowledgeable about logs and about operating systems there, and I've been around computers a long time. So first of all, the Splunk is a sophisticated forensic tool that you basically want to have your best systems programmers or people that are really into the logs of the operating system work with you to set it up. It's a sophisticated tool. However, once you set it up, you can have the average forensic person start using it to find out whatever it is you're looking for. Now, it's a lot more than just that. You can use it to give an example. One of the more common users is a company called CSC. They're a conglomerate that represents about 100 different companies. People hire CSC to run their computer center for them. So here's a company that has help desks that respond to 100 sets of users from all over the business domain in the United States and North America. And they'll answer questions like, why can't I log in? Why, what happened to the session? What's going on with the system? But they can also go in and look at is there a string of characters that appeared in the database, in the stream of data that's going on, and is there something going on with any one of our users that we need to be aware of, that we can look for? So it can be used as a filter. I think of it as a very capable data mining system. So that's a long intro. Sorry about that. But it's a sophisticated machine. It's come a long way since it was introduced about 6 years ago, and the current version 4 point something, has it's gotten advanced according to the users. I myself, I haven't used it yet, but after talking to these people, I'm very, very impressed with it. Rumor has it that some of the ABC letter agencies are using it for network analysis and capturing things on the fly, like voice over IP analysis and stuff like that.
So you're seeing a lot of the agencies actually using this tool, huh?
They weren't present in public at the meeting, but people like Dow Jones, for example, they use it to see if anybody is doing insider trading in their company, and their company is worldwide. So they have one of the more advanced implementations of Splunk. They can basically look at all of their networks, and they can see if somebody is passing out information before an embargo. So, for example, their whole company is made on information. So they're basically one of the more sophisticated information handling companies in the world. So they needed a tool to basically see if the information that they sell was, first of all, being released to everybody at the same time so that nobody was taking advantage of it, and they have that built into the Splunk data gathering. They can basically see if anybody breaks the embargo of data on a particular company or an analysis report, an analytical report, before the release time. That's one of the things that they can do. I checked with the guy that did work on this, and I said, is it possible to take your voice over IP stream and scan that for analysis, to see if you have keywords being spoken? He said, yes, absolutely. So that's where I realized that it's an NSA type level machine. Actually, the NSA, I found a reference where the NSA did a network management report, and Splunk is one of the two systems recommended to be used to help meet internal standards within the NSA. And this is a public report. I have. I'll send you a reference to it.
You know, it's interesting, Bob, as you go through all this, and one of the things that really captured my attention when you first mentioned Splunk to me was, well, let me back up a little bit. When Mike Baldessar and I were talking, we were talking about Splunk and how Splunk really helps you control your servers and things of that nature. A great management tool.
Yes.
What really hyped my interest here was your framing Splunk as a network forensic tool. Do I have that right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, when you think about it, Joe, if you're a network administrator and you want to find out why an IP address is failing, or if somebody's hacking into your computer, you're basically looking for a string of data that is represented by pretty standard IP codes and IP network trails, right? And the trails are basically in the form of a string of characters, whether they might be a MAC address, or they might be an IP code itself, or there might be Microsoft Windows operating system code, whatever it is. The strength of Splunk comes in with it being basically a terrific librarian, if you would, of data. It knows how to set up the data so that it can be accessioned later on. Now, what that means is that if I'm looking for my IP address that I have as a static IP address on my machine, I call into, let's say, Dow Jones, right? They could very easily, from their network management, just look for an occurrence of my IP address and see what literature has gone out to me, what emails have come back and forth from me, what have I accessed while I was online to them. You know, so they can. That's how they would use that as a network tool. But when you transmit the data, don't forget you set up the data in an IP session. So the first couple of packets are just set up data, identifying who you are and stuff like that. But then the actual data gets passed back and forth in packets as well. Now, when you set up Splunk, basically Splunk takes all the data that goes across and gets entered into the logs and puts it into their database, and they scrunch it down, and they get all of these indexes automatically built up. So if you want to expand it to include the data that's in the information packets, you just say, you know, index the data on that as well, include those data as well. So the people that use Splunk, they're into multi-terabytes of data. I forget what the number is. They usually keep it up, like I think Dow Jones is time sensitive, so they look primarily online for a couple of days. But I believe that they have stuff going back to forensics, you know, traditionally longer amounts, like 30 days, 60 days.
Yeah,
but
you know,
it is a forensic tool as well as a network management tool.
Right.
Very, very powerful tool, and like I said, the latest version gives you a lot of automatic stuff. But when you first use it, I've been told if you put in like 10,000 different pieces of information, it'll come back with 8,000 indexes. So you have to play with it a little bit. You have to run it a second and a third time, and you have to take some of the common predetermined threads that help you to manage the data better. So it's not a tool for the faint-hearted. You don't want to have somebody in here that has problem getting up a Windows template or something like that. You really want to get some heavyweights in on it to start with.
So it also, from the network management side, I guess it becomes just a great correlation tool, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I think when Mike introduced this to me a while ago, we were looking at it as a great network correlator, and not necessarily as a forensic tool. Interesting. You know, you brought up a whole different side of that. I hope everybody appreciates that. Thanks for taking time out to be with us this morning. All right, we do appreciate it, and we'll try and get this up on the blog later on today.
Very good. Okay, right. Talk to you, Joe.
All right, thanks again.
Right, bye.